Hello again. I mentioned this morning that the police in Westminster do not have much to do these days, and so they've decided to investigate a former British soldier with a distinguished career lasting 27 years because he suggested that a Bahraini making a disturbance in the street might try doing the same thing in his own country. Now we find that Westminster is not the only place where the police do not feel like investigating real crimes like murder, rape and robbery. When the police in Birmingham heard that 45-year-old Isabel Vaughan-Spruce was standing around in King's Norton, they suspected the worst. There is a public space protection order in place around that area to prevent antisocial behaviour, and they were worried that this middle-aged woman was conducting herself in an antisocial fashion. After speaking to her, the police arrested her and showed her CCTV footage which depicted her standing still and not doing anything. When asked if she was praying at the time, the woman admitted she might have been thinking about God because she does that a lot. She is, of course, a Christian, and they're always fair game these days. This was enough for the police, and she has been charged with 4 counts of breaching the public space protection order by engaging in antisocial behaviour. The background is that there is an abortion clinic nearby, and some Christians have been standing outside and praying, handing out leaflets and so on. The staff apparently felt threatened by the leaflets and prayers and appealed to the local authority for protection. This resulted in the council declaring that there was an exclusion zone around the clinic and that nobody must pray near the place. These exclusion zones, and I give a link for information about them in the description to this video, were specifically brought in a few years ago to tackle antisocial behaviour. Most of us think of people throwing bottles, fighting, drinking in the streets, threatening passers-by and so on when we hear of antisocial behaviour, but this particular order specifically mentions prayer. Of course, Isabel Vaughan-Spruce wasn't praying out loud, that is to say speaking to the Lord, but the police thought that she might be thinking prayers, and when she admitted that this was possible, that's when they charged her with antisocial behaviour. I give a link to news items about this case. It is so bizarre that perhaps otherwise viewers will think that I am making bits of it up. Now, of course, one sympathises with the police in Birmingham. Given a choice between tackling the dangerous gangsters in Birmingham and arresting a quiet middle-aged woman for thinking about God, I know which I would find more agreeable. I mean, it's safer. You know she isn't going to start shouting and swearing and pulling out a knife or a gun. It must have made a very pleasant change from the kind of thing which they often come up against. One cannot help but wonder, though, if this is the best use of their time. Of course, this is quite literally thought crime, in that this woman has been charged with doing nothing other than thinking about God. Just when you think that life in Britain cannot get any worse.